Planet of the Apes is one of the oldest and most famous science fiction series in cinema history. It began in the 1960s and has continued for decades, telling a gripping story about the conflict between evolved apes and humans in a post-apocalyptic world. The series explores themes of civilization, power, and the effects of corruption and conflict on societies. In World of the Planet of the Apes, we see a continuation of this epic story, which delves deeper by introducing more characters and conflicts that reflect the complexities of a post-apocalyptic world. The movie is set in a distant future where Earth has become a battleground between a degraded human race and apes who have evolved into an advanced civilization. The apes, who gained superintelligence due to a virus released in previous installments, have built their own society under the leadership of Caesar in earlier films. The film begins several years after Caesar's death, with his son Cornelius now leading the apes. However, the Earth remains divided. The surviving humans, weakened by the effects of the virus, suffer from significant decline, both culturally and physically. This deterioration has caused them to lose much of their knowledge and ability to defend themselves, leaving them vulnerable to oppression by the apes. The apes, meanwhile, have used their superiority to build advanced cities, though not all of them are convinced of living in peace with humans. Tensions are rising, and there are divisions within the ape society itself. Some believe that cooperation with humans is the way forward, while others think they must be wiped out entirely to protect the future of the apes. In World of the Planet of the Apes, the story focuses on two main characters, Cornelius and Maya. Cornelius, the son of the late Caesar, finds himself torn between his father's legacy of balance and peace, and the growing pressure from certain ape factions demanding revenge and the total annihilation of the humans. Cornelius strives to maintain this fragile balance, but he faces significant challenges from both within his own community and from the humans. As for Maya, she is the leader of a rebellious human faction. Unlike other humans who have surrendered, Maya seeks to build a resistance movement against the apes. Maya represents humanity's last hope in an effort to reclaim human civilization, but her determination to achieve this goal leads her to make dangerous decisions that escalate tensions between the species. As time passes, the tensions between humans and apes reach a breaking point. In their desperation, humans attempt to attack some of the ape colonies in order to reclaim vital resources for survival. This attack is seen as an act of war. Cornelius finds himself forced to respond to these aggressions, even though he does not want to be drawn into a full-scale war. Meanwhile, extremist ape factions believe this is the perfect time to eliminate humans once and for all. These factions pressure Cornelius to take more aggressive actions. At the same time, Maya organizes raids against the apes. The human resistance forces she leads believe that the only way to ensure humanity's survival is to retake the lands controlled by the apes. Things escalate to a high level of tension, with battles between the two sides growing more intense, each side striving for dominance in this epic struggle. As the battles intensify, the main characters face critical decisions. Cornelius faces internal divisions among the apes. Some remain loyal to him and his father's ideals of peace and understanding, while others increasingly call for war and vengeance. He finds himself torn between protecting his people and adhering to his principles. On the other hand, Maya also faces difficulties with the humans. The remaining human leadership is divided on how to deal with the situation. Should they try to negotiate with the apes or continue the war? No matter the cost, the battles between the two sides escalate into a full-scale war, engulfing both humans and apes. The film shows how noble goals can lead to total destruction, with thrilling scenes of massive battles on the ground and in the advanced ape cities. Both Cornelius and Maya face tough choices regarding survival and morality, as they must make decisions that affect not only their societies but the future of the planet itself. By the end of the film, after a series of devastating battles, the events leave the future uncertain. The audience is left questioning whether humans and apes can ever live in peace, or if their conflict is inevitable. The film raises deep questions about human and animal nature, and whether two different species can coexist without conflict. It also reflects on the ethics and values that guide societies and how power and control can distort noble aims. World of the Planet of the Apes offers an intense cinematic experience filled with action and emotion, combining thrilling action sequences with complex intellectual themes that encourage viewers to reflect on the meaning of civilization, power, and the relationships between species. The battles between the two sides escalate into a full-scale war, engulfing both humans and apes. The film shows how noble goals can lead to total destruction, with thrilling scenes of massive battles on the ground and in the advanced ape cities. Both Cornelius and Maya face tough choices regarding survival and morality, as they must make decisions that affect not only their societies but the future of the planet itself. By the end of the film, after a series of devastating battles, the events leave the future uncertain. The audience is left questioning whether humans and apes can ever live in peace, or if their conflict is inevitable. The film raises deep questions about human and animal nature, and whether two different species can coexist without conflict. It also reflects on the ethics and values that guide societies and how power and control can distort noble aims. World of the Planet of the Apes offers an intense cinematic experience filled with action and emotion, combining thrilling action sequences with complex intellectual themes that encourage viewers to reflect on the meaning of civilization, power, and the relationships between species. Here is additional content to further extend your voiceover script. As the war between humans and apes escalates, the film delves deeper into the emotional and psychological struggles faced by both sides. Cornelius, burdened by the expectations placed upon him as Caesar's son, is constantly torn between his desire for peace and the increasing pressure to lead the apes into battle. He knows that war will only bring more suffering. But he also understands that many within his society believe that the only path to safety is through total dominance over the remaining humans. Cornelius grapples with the weight of leadership and the complex moral dilemmas he faces in a world where survival seems to demand violence. Maya, on the other hand, is driven by a fierce determination to protect what's left of the human race. Having witnessed the slow collapse of human civilization, she is willing to do whatever it takes to reclaim a sense of hope and dignity for her people. Maya sees the apes not just as enemies but as a symbol of everything humanity has lost. For her, defeating the apes represents more than just survival, it's about restoring humanity's place in the world. Yet, as the conflict drags on, Maya starts to question the cost of her mission. Is the destruction of the apes really the solution? The contrast between the two societies is stark: the humans, living in the remnants of their once great civilization, and the apes, thriving in their newly built communities. These visuals not only serve as a backdrop for the action, but also reinforce the themes of decay and rebirth, and the fragile balance between civilization and chaos. As the conflict deepens, World of the Planet of the Apes explores not just the physical battle between humans and apes but also the psychological toll that the war takes on both sides. Cornelius, burdened by the legacy of his father, feels the crushing weight of responsibility. Every decision he makes could lead to more bloodshed, or to the extinction of his people. His internal struggle is palpable, torn between his father's vision of peace and the growing belief within his community that war is inevitable and necessary. Cornelius' story is one of profound emotional conflict, as he battles to maintain his ideals while being pushed towards aggression by external forces. On the human side, Maya's leadership is tested in ways she could never have imagined. As the resistance leader, Maya is seen as a beacon of hope for the remnants of humanity, but this role comes with immense pressure. Her people are looking to her for answers, for a plan that will save them from extinction. But as the situation worsens, she finds herself questioning her own motives. Is her fight against the apes truly for the good of humanity, or has it become a personal vendetta? As the casualties rise, so do her doubts, leading her to reflect on the true cost of survival. The film does a remarkable job of showing that, despite their differences, both apes and humans are struggling with similar issues of leadership, morality, and the price of victory. Cornelius and Maya are not just fighting each other. They are fighting to preserve the future of their respective species, all while grappling with their own insecurities and the heavy burden of command. In this way, the film elevates itself from being just a typical war movie to a thoughtful exploration of what it means to lead in times of crisis, and how the pressure of war can warp even the noblest of intentions. Another powerful theme in the movie is the question of identity. For the apes, their rise to power and dominance is a new chapter in their history. Cornelius must navigate the growing tensions within his society as different factions struggle with what it means to be an evolved species. Some of the apes, especially the younger generation, believe that their newfound intelligence makes them superior to humans, while others,